So I came across this chart today, and I actually think it's a really good example of why now is a good time to buy real estate. So I'm going to walk you through kind of the chart, what it means, how you can take advantage of it, and why I think it means it's a very good time to buy. So before I do that, I want to actually show you something real quick here. So on Twitter, you have a lot of people who just have really no idea what they're talking about, and this is a good example here. This is someone, what it looks like a journalist or something, but basically saying that everyone learned being a landlord isn't good because property tax insurance, tenants, blah, 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 the whole headache. That's not what this chart is showing at all, right? These are institutions here. Institutions know about real estate already. This isn't like a residential landlord who just bought their first like triplex, right? This is someone who's buying hundreds and hundreds of units. This is capital raised in the billions. There's a lot of money sloshing around here. That's not what this chart is showing. So what is it showing here, right? It's showing a huge drop off in real estate fundraising. And you can see it's actually below 2009, which is crazy. But it really shows how institutions kind of go through the process. And a lot of it is groupthink, right? When it's easier to raise for everyone, it's easier to raise, everyone raises. When it's hard to raise, no one raises, right? And you could see it's pretty cyclical, right? It goes up, then it goes down, then it cycles all the way back up again. And there's going to be a few down years here, and then it's going to go back up again. What it does mean, right, is that there just isn't that much capital to be buying deals, right? And at the end of the day, that is how the process works, right? When you're buying a deal, people think cap rates, for example, right, are based on interest rates. And obviously that's a factor, but it's not the only thing that goes into it. When you look at the rest of it, right, really what's happening is you have a bunch of people bidding on how much they're willing to pay for an asset, right? And that they're willing to accept on an asset. So if one person's bidding on it, right, maybe it's a 10 cap. If 3 people bid on it, if 100 people bid on it, maybe it gets bid down to a 4 cap, right? And that's, you need funds to be able to bid on that, obviously, right? So when cap rates go down a lot, obviously real estate investors make money, but the reason why it goes down is because of the flow of funds, little sloshing around that people are willing to pay up, right, or bid up on the cap rate, right? That's all that's happening. So in situations like this, right, where there's not that much fundraising, over the next few years, it's going to be pretty easy to buy deals because there's not going to be that many people bidding against you. Obviously, this is kind of at the more institutional level, right? And that probably starts around the 10, 15, $20 million range. But there, which means you're going to be able to buy for relatively higher cap rates, which is great for you, right? Because you get more cash flow initially. You're buying for cheaper. Obviously, this chart's not going to go on forever, right? People are going to start raising money again. Right? You saw what happened after 2009. Same thing's going to happen here. And once that does happen, right, cap rates are going to get bid down again. So over the next few years, and there's a really good reply down here, actually, here, right? So how much dry powder is left by vintage. And you could see, right, there's, of the dry powder, right, a lot of it, so this is like 2021 vintage dry powder. This is 2022 vintage dry powder, 2023 and 2024, right? Not a lot of 2025 dry powder. Obviously, the year's not over yet, and they haven't raised that much, but these people are going to have to deploy very shortly, right? Funds have life cycles, and you have to deploy the capital by a certain time frame. And if you raise the money in 2021, you're going to have to deploy it very soon. So they're going to deploy it, right? Then the 2022 is going to have to deploy it too. 2023 is going to have to soon. And all you're going to have left is the 2024 and 2025, which isn't much, right? That's not much of the dry powder here. Almost all of it was raised beforehand. So it's probably going to take a year or two to actually see that show up in the numbers. But once it does, there's just going to be far less bidders on these assets, which is incredible if you're a buyer of real estate. So it's actually a great time to buy once that happens. So, I mean, in this case, right, it's why is now a good time to buy then, right? It seems like 2 years from now or so is really the good time. And I think that's largely right. I think, first of all, I would say I'm finding a lot of deals right now, but I think 2 years from now will probably be easier. But really, the reason why I want to buy right now is because it takes time to set up and really go for it, right? If you buy your first deal in 2027, it's probably not going to be that big of a deal, right? It might be a little bit small, and maybe you do well on it, right? But you're not going to hit it out of the park just because it's a small deal. You want to be ready for when that moment happens so you can actually scale up and take a big swing, right? If you buy 2 or 3 deals beforehand, maybe it's 4 deals beforehand, whatever it is, and by then you're kind of inching up into a bigger size range and you could take a big swing at a deal. That's how you make a lot of money in the space. And you always want the capital to basically, you want to like outrun the capital flows, right? So you want the capital to come in after you buy, obviously, right? That's the same with every single asset class. But in this case, it does take time to scale, right? And it takes time to actually find good deals because your first deal can be good, right? But 2 years in, you're going to have so many more broker connections, lender connections, joint venture connections, whatever you want to call it. So you always want to actually set up your buy in advance, right? And in real estate, sometimes it's a slow moving business, right? In that the deal cycles aren't, it's not like stocks, right? You don't know immediately if you're right or wrong. The deal cycles can take some time. It's a private market. So you really want to set yourself up beforehand if you think there's going to be a buying opportunity in a few years, because you want to buy the deals, you want to have the track record so you can raise the capital, you want to have the relationships with brokers so they send you the good deals. It all takes time. So that's basically why I think now is actually a very good time to buy. And you'll see, obviously, I think 2027 will be a little bit better, 2028 probably too, that kind of time frame. That'll be where like the really, really great deals are had, but you want to set that all up beforehand. So that's really I just saw this randomly, thought it was interesting. I might start doing this more. I just go through Twitter posts and why they're interesting and whatnot. But I think that's how you want to look at it. If you're a buyer of real estate, you want to set yourself up before the event happens, because it's almost too late when it happens, right? If you just say, hey, in 2027 or 2028, I'm going to buy my first deal now, you're going to get the worst deals, right? Because the brokers already have people they're sending their deals to, right? The lenders already have people they're working with, and you're not one of them. So you're going to see some deals, maybe you do okay, but you're not going to see the high end deals. So it's all a long game. It's all about building those relationships up to the point where like you really hit a home run. And you see the people who really, really crushed in real estate, all they need to do is crush one cycle. That's it, right? Like if you crush one cycle, you're set for life. Obviously, if you miss time everything, which a lot of people do, then you have a longer career in it. But the people who really, really crush it, they just crush one cycle. So that's how I'd look at it. And